What is up, everybody? This is Tikwe, also known as Richard, and I've been quiet for a while, not posting a lot of videos. I do apologize about that. We've been having COVID, the whole family, my mom, dad, sister, and I. So unfortunately, we just have been a little bit quiet because of that. So I do apologize. But we are still on the Holy Roman Empire, trying to make sure we cover as much information about them as possible, how to play them, how to understand, mid game, late game, castle aids, fast castle. And I think I've really gotten a good hang of it, of how I'm playing them. It's weird, especially on the early levels, or I would say lower levels, not early levels. Um, when you're playing against these different factions and different players, a lot of the games kind of gets decided by one fight. If I do cough, I do apologize in advance. It is just because of the whole little COVID thing. But yeah, you can see immediately I know the French specifically likes doing a night rush. So I'm starting with 3 villagers on the on the wood line and going for the 3 on the house and then back onto the sheep, and at the same time the prelate will be out very very shortly, so you don't lose any uptime there because you get the buildings down very quickly. And then I send my scout out to go get some sheeps, like you can see. There, control 1, this building control 2. Also guys, I have upgraded a lot of my hardware, and we're playing on much better graphic settings. You can even see how much better this looks. You can see the straw on top of the buildings and how good these villagers and their clothes and everything. Even the trees actually look, even the resource veins, you can see like the gold, how clean and good that looks. So please let me know if there's any quality issues on the video. I would appreciate that. If you press H, you jump to the town center. You can bind it with control 2. That's usually how I play, so I can jump quickly to my scout, check back with my town center, make sure my villagers and everything is training. But my goal here is to get a barracks out, because the problem is the School of Cavalry actually trains units a lot quicker than what you would with a single barracks. So you want to get that production of the spearmen out as soon as possible, and follow that up with the archery range so you can actually play a defensive game. And that's what I've actually found with the Holy Roman Empire. I personally don't like maps that have split sides like this. I like having a center defense where your walls or your sides are kind of safe. I prefer that playstyle. But here we're just going for sheep and so on. I already picked up 5 there. We picked up a lot of sheep. I don't know how he was scouting, but this does give us a very early lead with food. And I'll show you 2 main things on this map. It's called French Pass. So you have these 2 sides. If I show you the full map that you are able to access there, you have a lot of the main resources here in the middle of the map. We do have a lot of forests, quite a nice forest spawn here. If it was a little bit up here, it would have been nice, but you kind of have to close right here off. And you can see on his side, he has 7 villagers on food, 3 villagers on gold. You can actually go 2 and 8. That's actually perfect for the French. On the resources, you can see he's outscaling the gold now onto the food. So not the best way to get the French into the feudal age. So we just want that barracks up to make sure that we don't get rushed. You can see now he's only scouting out this area. Let's see what route he chose to take. He went up this side and then cleared the whole area. Unfortunately, most of the sheep was this side, so I got lucky there. So he is ready to go up to H2. You can see he put down there we go, the School of Cavalry. Now this trains unit production at 25% production cost, 20% reduction cost, and 20% faster. So it's going to really pump out those Royal Knights quite quickly. But if we get back to our home base here, we already have our first spearman out, getting another spearman out, and I'm using the gold villagers to, well, there's a wood villager because I have a lot of them, but usually you'll see later on I use the gold villagers to build my houses, because I want to keep this wood line and this food as effective as possible. And you can see I'm not even pushing for a feudal age here, because I know, there you can see I'm closing off this, so I know they have to come from this side, I know they have to come from this side, just to have some form of defense. There's another sheep right there, right? So we have 3 sheep right here, and you can see there's the Royal Institute. Not bad, 4 minutes 15, really not bad. You can get this down under 4 minutes. I think he did speed build it with quite a lot of villagers, but that's okay. So now you can see he does not have the resources to immediately train a Royal Knight. If you get that microing right with the 2 villagers on gold, then 3 as you're training up villagers, and then progress into your villagers. I think you go into 9 villagers on food. And then you can see he's sitting now on 14, and then the rest onto wood. That's going to be your best scenario to get the Royal Knights out if you want to rush with them. But yeah, it was a very interesting game. You can see now we're already sitting on 5 spearmen right here, and the prelates just making sure the villagers here are staying inspired. So he's doing his job. The villagers are working fast. So you can see now I'm starting to use the gold villagers to build the houses, because we have more than enough gold right here. Now I'm sending villagers forward. I wanted to wall off here. And kind of get map control here, but you can see he's coming forward to scout us out this side, and just I would say it was a pretty decent matchup. There wasn't, I know it's no pro player, we're not like Scrubby and those guys who are really good at the game, but I think for intermediate level, there's nothing really bad that you can say, I think, about what we're doing here, but there's always room for improvement, even on the top level. So we have all the sheep right here. You can see still 4 sheep left. All these villagers on the sheep. I moved a lot of the villagers that was on wood towards sheep. This is quite bad. I'm not training villagers right now, but I dropped off the food. I want to speed build this as fast as possible. You can see I just dropped 13 villagers, 15, 16 villagers on this to get it up as quick as possible. I want the inspiration buffs, and I want to get the upgrades on the spearmen. So that's the only reason why I rushed this. Not necessarily the good thing in every game, but you can see now the Royal Knight coming forward here. The villager, I don't like this about building walls. Villagers go and they construct the first wall here. They don't build the little corner piece here. They'll build the whole wall and then come back for that little corner piece. I don't know why it's like that, but it does make the map or the whole thing a lot more difficult. So you can see the Royal Knight now comes back, and he's definitely going to kill this villager. So he's on 2. You can see this Royal Knight production getting out now. Still struggling to get his food and his gold stabilized, but he's still doing well. No more sheep on his side, so he has to go over to berries. But we have this defense here. We tried going forward to pick this off, but I'll show you from a concealed perspective, right? So we know about the Royal Knights. We're just scouting out, making sure we can see as much as possible from the map. But we have these spearmen right here, and at this point in stage, I'm training villagers. You can see I'm sending forward this villager to go wall myself in here. You can do a forward wall right there, but I feel this is quite a lot of control, especially against an aggressive French player. It is good to get those walls up early. I have the extra spearmen here in the front to make sure that if they had to come from the side that I did not see, I was able to actually defend this from an attack. So you can see 5 villagers, 5 knights right there. I get the scout, and immediately he has to back off. No idle time on my gold vein, no idle time on my wood vein. I'm quite safe right here. So this is a really nice way to give yourself some time as the French. You can see right now 7 spearmen right there, 3 spearmen right there. I just used the spearmen that I sent it with the villager hardened spearmen, so we did get that upgrade as well. It will make a big difference. You can see there. Now we're waiting for the castle age, and I also used the line formation stance because I don't want them to kind of sneak around the back here. So you can take like 2 and just put them here on the deer hunt again, using my gold villagers to build the houses. Transitioned over to berries, so because there was some idle time for them waiting around the sheep. So apologies. So we have the sheep that are almost finished. We have the berries there, and now you can see we are trying to get this wall done as soon as possible because we found out these royal knights are trying to come from the other side, and that's perfect. That's actually the right thing to do. If this side is defended, go around the other side, check if you can get a little harassment on these berries, harassment on the wood line, or even on the gold line. That's the perfect case scenario. I'm training some men-at-arms as well because what the men-at-arms will do well, different to the spearmen, is they have a lot more health and they have the range and melee armor. So they'll take a bunch of the blunt force from the enemy, which will help you, not take as much damage. So you can see now we're going for the blacksmith, trying to get those upgrades out, keep training those spearmen up, keep the house production up. Again, using the gold vein villagers to build the houses up. And now I'm forcing him to say, hey, good dude, this side is safe. You're not gonna get through here because I want to get map control. Firstly, I have the relic that I can use right here. I have another set of berries. I have a deer hunt right here, which we did scout out. So I have a lot of safe food as soon as this is done to move to. You can see there a little stray sheep working as a little beacon to show us what's going on. But this villager is going to continue constructing this wall. We did move over, now you can see, over to stone. Just a wolf here trying to get in on the action here. If you have wolves that is unattended, they can pick off these villagers. Please do manage this and kill them, and you'll see I'll pick that off as soon as possible. There we go, because that little sound is quite annoying. But again, see the one unit down here on the side so they can't come around. We did try and get this wall up, but look at this. He's sitting on 8 royal knights. That's a huge army to fight against. My spearman would probably die against 8 royal knights if he had to rush us on this. But we see that. You can see immediately starting to train up more spearmen. We know we need the heavy spearmen to be safe. We can go into the full view now just to see how big this force is. That's 9 royal knights here. He's just training up more with the School of Cavalry there. Second town center, double archery range that he has up. So very neat housing. It looks like a very skilled, I want to say, precise player. He knows kind of what he's doing. Maybe a little bit more on the scouting would have been better. But you can see this is a big army. This can do really a lot of damage if you did not have any sort of defense. So we know we are safe right here, and now I'm going forward and building a stone wall behind these 2 wooden walls, because I want to make sure this side, even if he has to try and get through here with rams or mangonels, he will have to invest like 2 minutes to get through this, and that will give me enough time to respond. And that's all I wanted. I want the safety of the berries, I want the safety of the deer hunt, and I want this early relic, because you can see on the map here there's a center relic there. The relics are quite close to his side. One relic right here on his side, second relic right in the middle of the map, this one more towards his side, and another one more towards his side. So that's not good for the Holy Roman Empire, because you want those relics to get the gold, right? And you'll see most of this game I play without relics. I have a single relic right there, but I have to use my villagers and actually send them over to gold to get gold, because I do not have gold. But you can see we're sitting on 1,700 food, 16 villagers on food, making sure we get those houses down. Now we have a villager here getting as much houses up as possible, keeping the stone production up so we can make sure that the fence goes up, and a pretty nice force here. 21 spearmen, 2 men-at-arms. More men-at-arms wouldn't have been bad, but you can see he's trying to make sure this relic is protected. He has the royal knights here, so he knows my prelates can't sneak through here to get the second and third relic that is right here, or the sacred site. So he's doing a really good job at defending, right? Double town center on a villager count, he's probably sitting on 30, 40, 55 villagers. So it's quite a significant amount more than I have. I'm sitting on 25, 29, so 20 villagers odd more. So we just kind of chase him away, get him off of this wood line. The right thing would have probably been to have a prelate right here to go forward for this relic, and another one to go for this relic. So we go for a forward wall here. This would have been much better with this early pressure that we had with the spearmen to go forward with 2 prelates. So this was a bit of a rookie play on my side, because this is quite nice numbers. 13 Royal Knights is going to do a lot of damage. You can see he's transitioning over to farms because he does not really have a lot of other sources of food. Very heavy on the wood line, so he can get these farms out, and probably the archers that's going out. Triple archer range on his side compared to a single barracks. Archer range is only starting up now. Another market actually that I usually buy into control 8. Town center control 1, scout control 2, and any military production buildings like this, you can shift click them to select all the archery ranges, but I just do that, click on the barracks, click on them, and then control 7. So if I press 7, I can just tab between these buildings to train my units up. And we're getting the men at arms out, so we have this forward spearman group here, but this mass is amassing quite significantly, and the archers are going to do the damage against the spearmen, while the spearmen are going to take the blunt of the damage against the Royal Knights. But this is a good army. Royal Knights with archers and early mangonels. This was going to be a whole different game if you had the mangonels. But we have this defense. You can see I'm playing with more formations. I'm trying to get the formations down. You know, he's not scouting this out, but I'm going forward for a wall here. I think he does not see this. Let's just have a look. So he does not see, he cannot see this wall going up, but these units are in this little stealth forest right here, and we're trying to get this wall up on our side, right? So as soon as the wall is up, you know, we will have some form of defense going, but I think he maybe felt like quite strong enough because of the unit count, and it was just maybe a timing push from his side. And unfortunately, this is going to end up very badly because this is quite a big army. He's sitting on quite a big number of units, and there's no way you're going to defeat this Royal Knight army with all these archers, because these archers are just going to tear through these spearmen very quickly. So, you know, you have to choose kind of how you're going to defend this. Because I have this walled off, this is not walled off, so very vulnerable right now. And you'll see the villager go back to kind of a wall right here. That's just going to help. And then I use the spearman to kind of run away, because he's going to try and finish this off. Most players do. And that's just to buy this villager time to kind of finish this building. And then, I don't know why, but look at this. I'm trying to get these gaps closed so the villagers can actually build it, but I don't know if it's because of these villagers selecting these wall pieces first, but because of that I couldn't use that single villager to close off the wall because of the other villagers that was targeting it. So it's a little bug in the game. I don't know why that happens, but again, now we're safe. We have a stone wall this side, we have a double stone wall here. We just lost our whole military production here. A good push from his side, you know, because he lost all his Royal Knights, so a very expensive trade for him. You can see how much archers he's going for instead of the spearmen, because that's going to be much better against the spearman comp that we have. So a good call on him for the double arch, or actually 5 archery ranges. Sure. So he had very, very high military production, very clean housing buildings, progressing over to the farms, using the wood line correctly, progressing over to more wood. You can see he's playing pretty decent, and he's doing the right thing. He's controlling the relic. He knows this relic can't really be accessed. But again, from my side, if I used my army correctly early on, I could have had this relic and just increased my gold income exponentially. So, you know, he's farming stone, he's farming gold, he's sitting on better resources than we are by miles, and we are also behind on military production, but we do have this defensive playstyle. We do have the walls kind of keeping ourselves in. And one thing I want to show you guys with the Holy Romans, right, we do get this single relic in, and that's very, very late, only at 18 minutes, but we are in H3 now. He's still sitting in H2. So he could have boomed with this economy that he has and the amount of villagers that he has. He could have easily gone for a fast imperial because he already has the map control, he already has the relic control, and an imperial age for the French player means upgraded royal knights because they get that free blacksmith upgrade. Decarbonization automatically happens when you go into the castle age. And we actually have to research those upgrades, but you can see we're pushing all of the research as fast as possible. And this single gold vein, with 4,000 gold, if you manage it correctly, it does do wonders. We'll transition from this gold vein into a forward gold here, which is quite exposed, and now we're in the imperial age. We've actually gone for that early Palace of Swabia after the Richness Cathedral, because we have very heavy villagers on the food. Right now it's only 9, but we had a lot of villagers on the food to get that food production up and just get those spearmen and trash armies out. You can see only right now we're starting to build up extra army with crossbowmen for the Royal Knights. We have the early men at arms that's going to be dealing with more of the archers, and then we're also trying to get a lot of these upgrades like the heavy maces, because the men at arms with the heavy maces will do really good against heavy targets, which is like the Royal Knights. And then you can get your spearman upgrades, which is the riveted chainmail, and gives your spearmen better armor, and that will also help them against those Royal Knights and their damage. So really, really nice playstyle against the French, especially when you have those upgrades. But he's sitting in a second age, and I think that's maybe the biggest mistake on his side, because he's booming properly. He has all of the resources to do it, even the gold, but he's focusing so hard on unit production and even going for a safe wall here, a very weird wall. I would have just cut this wall short right here and saved maybe a bit of stone. But you can see the prelate trying to go for the relic here, just lost they managed not to lose the prelate there because these archers tried to pick him off, but they got stopped by the wall. Very lucky there. 6 health left, but good job on his side. He knows what he needs to do against the Holy Roman Empire. He just didn't play for that 3rd and 4th age, which is important. But on our side now, we're very comfortable, and this Palace of Swabia is going to help us so much because you produce villagers 75% quicker and 75% cheaper. So it's technically maybe 2 or 3 town centers added, and we already have the single town center here. I'm not even training villagers with it because the Palace of Swabia is so effective at training villagers and so much cheaper. You don't want to waste any food by training villagers unnecessary in that way. So we have the mills out here. Our food production is starting to run low. We started building a few traders with the back of the trading post here, and again, because of the trading posts being so far in the corner, it's really nice to trade with this distance. It means your traders will come back with quite a lot of gold for the trip that they do. So he's into castle age right now. Let's see what he went with. Am I blind? That's the School of Cavalry. There we go. Guildhall. That's pretty standard. I would also, if I was him, with his current production, have switched the Guildhall over to gold, and then you can build up these farms, and you have the high gold from the Guildhall, and then you can get control of these gold veins like he does right now, and that's going to give you very consistent gold and food, and you can just mass big masses of Royal Knights because of the consistent food and gold that you're getting in. But it's a pretty decent game. I think he could have played a lot more aggressive on his side, maybe used the blacksmith and get this upgrade, the siege engineering upgrade, very sooner, and use this army to apply that early pressure, especially if you're in an age disadvantage. Your military is going to be a lot more than mine. I'm sitting on 11 military, and he has this army of 50 units. So he's trying to get map control, trying to play for a very late game to get the center resources and stuff secure, which is the right call. But you have to also decide how are you going to win the game. And I guess that's the most important thing to think of when you're doing this. So I do get the siege workshops out. I have this double stable, the triple barracks up now, double archery range. Compared to him, he has the 5 archery ranges right here. He has the 5 stables right here. No barracks as of yet, but that's okay because he's going against us. Our men at arms will be a lot stronger than his, so you can just spam the Royal Knights and maybe get the upgrade. That would have been the best call for him if he had to go into the Imperial Age. And he has the resources to do that. I mean, he's sitting on 5,000 food, so definitely age problem, I think, and that gave us a big advantage on this game. You can see he's sitting on crossbowmen, arbaletiers, the Royal Knights, 37 long archers, veteran Royal Knights. He has the 6 arbaletiers, so he's going to be dealing with any of my forces very, very effectively because he has a very balanced comp. So he's pushing over this units to this side because the gate's obviously here because that's my point of access. He can see there's no gate here. I get that castle up just to make sure this is as safe as possible. And he's just kind of waiting out. I don't know what the plan was, but you can see now these men-at-arms have the upgraded damage, so they do extra damage against the heavy units, so that will be 22 damage against the heavy units because they have those little, you can see those giant maces that they have. And there's another upgrade that you get on the barracks, which is right here, which give your landcannons extra damage as well. So we're getting the upgrades as fast as possible. You'll see we'll get these elite upgrades also as soon as possible, and we're pushing into Damascus steel, master smiths, and angled surfaces to get those level 3 upgrades, and also the marching drills, which makes us our infantry units move a lot quicker. But this is kind of a trash comp. I kind of wanted to test this mass, see how well we do. You can see how quickly these Royal Knights go down with this army, but because of the archer mass that he has, these Royal Knights will struggle significantly against heavy comps like this. But if you have a game like this, the best thing that both of us did wrong would be to be in H3 and H4 with 0 siege. And you'll see very shortly now, there's the mangonel production on my side starting on the single siege workshop. You're just getting as much mangonels out as possible because that's not a lot of resources that we lost, but it is dangerous because if he started producing rams right now, which he was very able to do, he can get through this wall, and then this whole unit army would be able to be much more aggressive and get into the base and try and win. So this is maybe a little too late to get these rams out. I like the little ram dance that they call it, the village or the archers or the spearmen running around the rams like this. But you can see he's walling off oh, that's my walls. I thought that's his walls able to close off on the castle. That would have been insane. But yeah, so he's getting the ram out. He wants to get through this this gate right here. So the rams are ready. The army is much bigger than mine. And we're just getting these mangonels out to try and get as high of a defense as possible. I didn't really want to train another siege workshop because I lose the wood, and you can see my wood right now is not that much. But I mean, he should have attacked. I don't know why he hasn't, and I knew his army was a lot bigger than mine. You can see how small my army is. We have the single prelate here with very little health, a single castle here, none of the upgrades, almost running out of gold here, 400 gold left. We do have the traders bringing extra gold, and we have the relics, so we're not running out of gold. Still a consistent 1,200 gold per minute. Let's check his income per minute. He's sitting on lower gold per minute, and he has map control, all of the military production, all of this control right here. So that's quite insane to see how strong the Holy Roman can be even without relics. In games like this, because we're sitting at a much higher gold income per minute, 1,400 gold per minute, and we can see that drop off very shortly now with the gold vein disappearing. But right now, we have 4 mangonels, and the goal is 6 mangonels. If you see very big masses like this, I mean, this guy is sitting on such a big army right now, 30 veteran Royal Knights. He did get the upgrade. He has the Arbiters, he has the veteran knights, but he's not using the army, and that's quite dangerous because this gives me time to excuse me, to retaliate. Yo, I apologize for the sounds and the coughing and everything, guys. It's just this whole COVID thing. We are like 5 or 6 days into it right now, so we're fine right now. But it's not the nicest thing to have. So I have the men at arms and the crossbowmen, but basically I have the main focus being the mangonels, and the mangonels is going to basically one shot this if you have six mangonels. With the amount of damage they do, they do extra splash damage against these units. But the goal is to get as many mangonels out as possible. You can see we're sitting on 2 right now, siege workshops, and he's breaching this wall. I think he just wanted to get more room for himself to work with, but this had to be on this gate because he knew that was kind of the choke point. So I sent forward the elite men at arms just to kind of group these units up, but you can see a few missed shots there. But again, all of these Royal Knights almost half health because of the mangonels that we have. And he also has the mangonel, so it's not bad. But the goal of these men at arms are just to kind of force him to group up. And when he gets grouped up, we get those mangonel shots off. And that's basically what we're trying to do. So 6 mangonels, just get them behind the wall to get them safe. And we'll send forward the men at arms here, 17 men at arms, nothing crazy, very, very big army of his. But you can see there, half of his archers already gone, and now he's starting to lose most of his Royal Knights. And all I have is basically mangonels just spamming over this wall. And he lost his whole army, guys. This is such a big win for us to have the mangonels with the wall security, and how big of a difference it made to get through this. And I forced the men at arms into going for that the mangonel on his side. But you can see now my mangonels just keep forcing forward, and because we have these upgraded men at arms with 8 ranged armor and 7 melee armor, they just take so much damage. And that's it, guys. We've already burned through army of almost 70 military just because we have 7 mangonels, but 6 is kind of the number you need for. I delete the wall, I go forward with a forward keep. I send my 6 health prelate to come and collect this relic, and I'm making sure that I go forward for the kill. He only reaches Imperial Age right now, so all of the upgrades that we have, with the blacksmith is done. We don't have the angled surfaces yet, but we have all the melee upgrades. We just focused on getting these men at arms as strong as possible, and spamming men at arms with the with the mangonels. And now we're getting a bombard just to put some extra pressure on these buildings. But look at those men at arms, the few that we had earlier. Look how much damage they take, even from the Arbiters, which deals with armored units quite effectively. These units have so much armor because of those upgrades. They are able to just dominate these type of fights with those upgrades that they have. Just a very, very strong unit, just as much damage on them almost as a Royal Knight, not an elite knight, but they do that extra damage against the heavy units. The 6 extra damage, it's 30 damage per men at arms, and they're much cheaper than what you will find a Royal Knight to be. So we have these mangonels going in to get this keep down. Even the men at arms, just rolling in men at arms with protecting the mangonels. Springald on his side would have been a good call. He has the gold and the wood to do it. But the men at arms are just to distract while the mangonels are basically dealing with the game. And that's basically what made us win this game. He has a monastery, so he was focusing very heavy on trying to get the relics down. But that army of his, if he had to take that army through this walls sooner, it would have been a much more difficult game for me, and he taps out. But I think that was a very nice demonstration of how your ages are very important to go for, but also how your Holy Roman Empire can play without relics. Just play a defensive game style, give yourself enough the time to actually defend and build up your right army and play reactive. But I think that was a pretty decent game to show you guys what happens when you play a more defensive playstyle with the Holy Roman Empire. You know, we did not train a lot of military, much less than he did, but he accidentally did not have the siege and he did not have the age, and that's what gave us the lead. You can see all his resources, gold, stone, and wood outscaled us because we did not have the relics, but overall with 8,000 gold and a few traders and one relic, we were able to win the game. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, sorry about the COVID. If you enjoyed the content, if you think the quality is good, and there's no staggering in the video or stuttering, please let me know. I do appreciate the comments, and let me know if you guys need to see specific content on the Holy Roman Empire. We're still focusing on them right now, and we'll continue making more videos on them. I think personally it's my favorite faction right now, and I do prefer the more defensive playstyle. But yeah, just keep an eye out. We'll post more videos during the week, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys again for another video soon. Bye bye.